This is Monroe's third grade class. We're on topic 11-2, and we're talking about solving story problems. We're decoding them, trying to find the missing information that we have to figure out. And we're also doing some bar diagrams as we go. Okay, so we're going to start on 3, because 1 and 2 you can't see very well. Let me get this up a little bit. It says, we always start with all the instructions. Okay, so we don't want to just skip down to number 3 because there's a big instruction box up here. It says, do you know how? In 3, complete the bar diagrams. So that's one task I have to do. And write equations. Make sure that you notice the S on these to solve. So that's 2 things I have to do. So before I even read my story problem, I have 2 things to do. Number 3 says, model with math. There's a total of 8 students. Students might be important. In 2 school vans with the same number of students in each van. So remember, if I see same and each, I'm probably doing what? What operations might I do if I have same and each? Heavenly?
Multiply or divide.
Right, because we can multiply or divide, and usually these 2 mean we're going to do some kind of equal groups, right? All right, and then it says, same for students, the admission fee for each, is that each again, student is $5, so there's another label. What's the total admission fee for all of the students in one van? Okay, so what's the story actually about? Because before we start picking numbers, we need to figure out what's it really talking about. Heavenly? Raise your hand if you've ever went, I know this year we haven't because of COVID, but raise your hand if you've ever went on a field trip where you had to load up in the bus.
Yes.
Usually when we go on a field trip, we have to pay a fee for each kid that we take with us. Put your hands down, okay? So they're going on a field trip probably, right? Because we got students, they're from different schools, or they're in different bands, right? So they're probably going on a field trip. And we have to find out what the fee is for the students in one van. So the story's kind of about a field trip, and we got to find out how much money each van's going to have to pay. So we're going to put field trip up here. And our label, probably something to do with money, or the fee for that money. Okay? Good? So we got a decoder page here that we are using in class, and it tells us what the story's about, our labels, important numbers, our diagram, which will be over here today, and our hidden question, and then to solve at the bottom. Okay, so let's talk about important numbers. What important numbers do we have in the story problem? Bryson?
5.
5 what?
$5.
$5. And what's that $5 for?
That's the total amount of the fee for each student.
For each student, right? So $5 each student. I have a Hummer. Someone humming, which I love to listen to, except when we're recording because I might not be able to hear us. So $5 for each student. Okay. What else is important up here? Kenzie? What numbers are important up there? Huh? 8 students. So we know we got 8 total students, right? What other number is important? Real?
2.
2, what is that 2 for? We have 2 vans. So do we see a hidden question there? Like this is number 3, right? What is the total admission fee for students in one van? So this is the 3rd thing we got to solve, but there's a 4th thing that's a hidden question. What's that hidden question that we have to solve before we can solve this one? Heavenly? They got a bar diagram down here. What's it say? This might help us. students in each van. Do we know that?
Yes. No.
Do we? We know that we have 2
How
vans.
many students are
And we know that we have 8 students total. Do we know how many is in each van yet?
in?
No. So that's our hidden question, right? How many students are in each van? Okay? They put an S here for students. Now, the only time that you're going to use a variable that's the same, like SS, is if the number's the same. Okay? So that means whatever this S is going to be. Okay? So how can I find the number of students in each van from my important numbers up here? Tyson? Well, how many students do we have total? Can somebody answer that first? How many students do we have total, Lindy?
8.
We have 8. So that's our big total number, right? We have 8 students. How many vans do we have?
2.
2. So look, this might be one van. This might be another van. So then how many equal students? Melissa? Be confident. You got this. No, not quite. Jackson? I gotta break this 8 into how many groups? 2. So how many are gonna be in each group? 4, right? How can, now listen, I gotta do an equation for that. So what am I doing if I'm sharing things into equal groups? Heavenly?
If you share, you're dividing.
I'm dividing. So I got 8, and I'm dividing it by 2, and we're gonna say it equals S. What is 8 divided by 2? Jackson? You just told me. 4, right? So that means S equals 4. So my hidden question on my decoder would be 8 divided by 2.
So do we put that down here?
Yeah, you can put it here or there, I don't care. You have to have this because we have to have, look, we gotta complete the bar diagram, we did that. We have to write an equation to solve. So are we done yet?
No.
No, because we haven't solved. What's the total admission fee for the students in one van? So how many students were in one van?
4.
4, right? So look here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the students. How much did it cost for each student? Hint?
$5.
$5. So what's going to go here?
5.
Yeah, so this should be $5, right? We already have F here for the total fee. So what's my equation going to look like? Now what am I doing? What do I got to do? Tyson?
8 times 5?
No, not 8 times 5, because remember there's not 8 in the van.
Oh.
Amelia?
5 times 8?
No, that's what he said. Luke?
5 times 4.
There we go, because we got 4 students. So I got 4 students times my $5. That's going to give me F. And F is going to equal what? 20, right? 20 what?
$2.
$20. Have I answered everything now? Let's check. Do we have bar diagrams filled out?
Yes.
Do we have equations to solve?
Yes.
And what is the total admission fee for the students in one van? $20. Okay, let's do one more. You go ahead and erase. I'm going to come around after this one and check yours before we start solving. So be sure that you follow along and everything right now. Okay, we're going to go down to 4 and 5. And we're just going to do 4. And then we're going to start solving. Okay? Because Savas is just like the 2 of these that we just did. Yeah, go ahead and erase. I'm going to erase up here. Today is STEM day, so we're going to cut it short on our video. So we can go ahead and have some fun. Okay? So So again, remember, when we start story problems, we need to make sure that we read all the directions. So start here, independent practice. In 4, draw diagrams. So that's the first thing I gotta do. And write equations to solve. There's 2 things I gotta do. Use letters to represent unknown quantities. There's 3. So I'm starting out with 3 things I gotta do before I even read the problem, okay? All right, model with math. Arif saves $4 each week. Okay, so here's a number, a label for dollars. Each means what? Usually it means we're putting it in, real? We're putting it in some equal groups, right? After 6 weeks, he spends all the money he saved on 3 items. Each item costs the same amount. That's important, right? The same, that means I got 3 groups that are the same. How much does each item cost? So there's my 4th thing I gotta do. All right, so important numbers. Actually, what's the story about first? What's Arif doing here? What's he got going on? Am I not heard from much today? Luke?
He's saving some money.
He's saving some money, right? So this is all about Arif and his money, right? So this is Arif's money. You guys ever, raise your hand if you've ever saved some money for things. Like it sounds like he's got something in particular. Maybe it's 3 things for a collection since they're all the same. Okay? Okay, you can put your hands down. All right. So we're talking about Arif. He's saving some money, and then he's spending some money too, right? So, I'm gonna have to take a break a minute. I hate to do that. Okay, so we're talking about Arif and his money. Important numbers. What do we got? Who knows what the important numbers are? Kinsey?
There's 4.
So he's got $4, and what's he doing with that?
I'm saving it.
How often?
This week. A week.
He's saving $4.
Each week.
We could just put WKLY for weekly. Okay? Saving $4, it doesn't make sense. What else we got? We've got $4 he's saving weekly. Alright, what else is he doing? Real?
That's 6.
What's that 6 for?
The 6 weeks he saved them.
He's saved for 6 weeks. So for 6 times of saving, right? Right? What else? What else is important in that question? Well, what else got it back there? Think good. Tyson?
3.
3. Why is 3 important?
Because he spends the money that he's been saving on 3 items.
And he buys 3 items, right? And the important part is that they each cost the same amount, right? Okay, so we got our important stuff. We don't have a diagram this time, but we kind of need to think about what our hidden problem is that we're looking for before we draw the diagram. So what do we got to solve before we can solve how much does each item cost? Because he spends all of his money, right? Heavenly?
How much money does he have in all?
Right. How much money does he have in all? So go ahead and do. Again, go ahead and do your bar diagram on your actual sheet today, okay? Because they don't have one for us to fill out. We don't need to do it on our decoder.
Okay.
Okay. When you get to solve it, you can do it on your decoder because you won't have paper. All right. So how many weeks did he save for?
6.
6, right? So let's put a box underneath this for each week that he saved. Okay, so we're drawing 6 boxes for each week. Well, 6 boxes, 1 box for each week. So 6 total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so each week he was doing what? What did we just say? Anybody show hands? Heavenly? He was saving. How much money was he saving? Kinsey?
$4.
$4. So if you look over here, you've already wrote it down, right? So each one of these should be $4. We're going to put an S up here because that's how much money he was saving. The total is what we're trying to find for. You could make it any letter. Oh, but don't make that a letter. Make that the
Can you
number.
make a chicken dog?
Hey, Kyson. Raise your hand, dude. Okay. You couldn't make a chicken nuggets. We talked about this yesterday because it's the only one that. Okay. You could draw a picture of chicken nuggets and it could be the symbol though. Just saying. Okay. We're gonna talk about variables. We better talk about them. All right. So we gotta stay on task or we're not gonna get to our STEM. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How can I write that as an equation? Because that's one of the things I gotta do. Can't.
6 times 4.
6 times 4 equals, we got to put our letter in there because it tells us, equals what? S, right? And then S equals, anybody know what S equals? Jackson? 24 what? Yeah, $24. Okay, so now we know what he saved, right? We know how much he had to begin with. So the next bar diagram we're going to have to do is for the actual question, how much does each item cost? Well, how many items did he buy altogether? Heavenly? 3, because over here, remember we wrote 3 items? And we know we can use a bar diagram like we're multiplying or dividing because it said they're equal. So we put 3 boxes in here. And we know that he has $24 to spend, right? That's our big number, so it goes on top. You with me? 24 on top. So do we know how much goes in each of those boxes?
No.
No. So any unknown quantities, we got to give a letter. I'm just going to put I for item. You can put whatever you want. As long as it's a letter or a symbol. Okay? So now what kind of equation can I use to get this letter, or the answer for this letter I? Now, you notice that each one of these have the same letter in it because it's going to be the same number when we're done. Riel?
Divide?
Yeah, so I divide. So in 3rd grade, our dividend, our first number is always the big number, right? When we get bigger, it won't be, but right now we can use that. So 24, and how many things are we spending money on? Kent?
3.
1, 2, 3. If I divide 24 by 3, I get I, right? So what does I equal? Rylan?
8.
Yes, 8. 8 what? What's the label for that 8?
Money.
Hayden?
$8.
$8. So put your dollar sign on there. Okay, so let's check. Did we draw a diagram?
Yes.
It says diagram, so we got more than one, right? Did we do equations?
Yes.
Did we put letters to represent unknown quantities?
Yes.
Yes. And did we answer how much does each item cost?
Yes.
Yes. So we're done, right? Okay. So go ahead, log on to Savvis. It's 11-2.
I put a dream.
Okay. That's it. Whoa, leave your stuff out because I want to give you a reward.